guys excited? Give me a thumbs up when we're good. Oh, we're on? That's good. Okay, well, welcome to our class on vision boards. All of you were invited on purpose, except Entry, on accident. But today we're going to talk about vision boards. We already know Paige and Trish, you guys already have had vision boards, right? Have you had any success with them? No. Not really?
Not really.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about a bunch of different things. First off, we're going to talk about why we would use a vision board. Okay? So first we need to realize that we go back to the whole idea is we know our thoughts can actually create. You guys agree with that? How we think shows up, either in our bodies through body language, in our lives through the thought patterns, and if we're constantly thinking a certain way, those things will show up. Well, we need to teach our brain what to create. So this is exactly what a vision board is. It's giving an image to us. And that image might actually be partly words. We'll go over what to put on your vision board and how. But it's the idea that these vision boards give our minds something to look at and to train on so they know what to actually accomplish. So what kind of things do you think would go on a vision board?
Goals.
Goals, great. Anything else?
Desires.
Goals, desires. I've been told I run a dry erase board just because I like writing. So if you guys say something, I write it up here, it's probably just because I like writing. What else goes on a vision board?
I think dreams that are just,
Dreams.
out there.
Great. Paige, anything you like to put on vision boards besides goals, desires, and dreams?
Well, that was on mine.
Okay. Okay. So the idea too is what we're going to give our mind an idea of what we want. We're going to, you've heard the phrase, place your order to the universe, and that can actually accomplish it. If you even want to go on a spiritual note, the idea, some people say, well, and this is, being in a religious society, a lot of people say, well, God's in control. God's going to give me what He wants to give me. But the truth is, if you go on that religious route, we've been given the same power on a lower level. And we're actually here to see if we're going to have to take advantage and take, what's the right word? Learn how to use the stewardship we've been given to improve. Because in this life, we're here to improve. One way you can look at it religiously, non-religiously, one of the things that can make us happy in life is to continue to progress and get better at whatever it is we're doing. So that's exactly what we're going to do here is we're going to give our mind an image to focus on, and not just one. And we're going to train our mind on what to do and how to achieve what's on the vision board. Have you guys ever gotten anything off your vision boards before? Have you ever achieved anything from your vision board?
Your vision board that you've got.
Yes.
No.
Yes. What's it feel like when you get it off, when you
That's
achieve
awesome.
it? Yeah. Do you feel like you want to share with everybody? And you're worried what people will say if you do? Yeah. So we'll talk a little bit about this. Oh, this thing got locked in here. This is my vision board that says success. These are all the things I've gotten over time.
I never took it off. I just left it there and it's like,
Yeah. So we'll explain all this, how this is all going. And there's a little note that fell in here that wasn't supposed to be there. There we go. So we'll talk about some of that. So, what kind of things, now we can talk about all those things on the board here, but another thing that can go, besides goals, desires, dreams, thoughts can go on there. You can put things up on there that the way you want to think, the way you want to behave, the way you want to act. I've actually had it before where I put up a little diagram of words that I wanted to emulate or be a part of, and I actually found over time, it was actually about 6 months later, I looked at them and I was like, wow, I really have made progress in every one of these areas being more like this, because my body sees it, and I look at that board every day and it goes, oh, okay, yeah, I want to do that, oh, you can want to do that. So, what we're going to do is we're going to, a vision board, we're going to talk about what it is, right? So a vision board is some place where we can actually have a square rectangle where we put these images and thoughts and words. What can that look like? What are some ways that you can make a vision board? This could be a vision board, right? Where else could you put a vision board? What's that?
Mine's just a bulletin board.
Bulletin board, awesome.
Bathroom mirror.
Bathroom mirror, oh, that's a good one.
I bought some foam board from the dollar store to put
Great.
stuff on.
A friend uses a fridge.
Fridge, okay. Where else and how else could you make a vision board? We should have got some tape.
On your phone.
On your phone, yeah.
You can do a phone. Yeah, you can put it on your phone there. And I would suggest that maybe not the best idea.
Yeah.
You can actually take a wall and take painter's tape which is either blue or you can make it green, and you just put the tape on it.
Designated space.
Just block out a space
Oh, on the wall.
on the wall and say, "This is my vision board."
Painter's tape so it doesn't kill the wall.
Right. Yeah. Don't put duct tape or as in tear it off. But what you're going to see is that we're not focused on how pretty our vision board looks. There's a term I learned recently. It's JBGE. Just barely good enough. You can try it.
Well, I like these.
But what's going to happen with OCD is you're going to go, I need my vision board to be perfect. All the lines have to be straight. And then what's going to happen is you're going to get lost in that to make it look perfect. And you're not going to actually achieve what your goals are. So does it matter where you put your vision board? Yes. But it doesn't matter what your vision board is made of? No. It can be anything. So I have my vision board here, and I'll show it to you later. But as you can see, this is from Walmart. It's a rectangle. I'm not going to show you the other side. And I'm also going to show you some mistakes I've made.
Do it real quick.
Let me see real quick. There you go. That felt
He does
naughty,
have it
right?
separated with the.
Yeah, I do.
OCD-ish.
Yeah, it is. Oh, I have OCD.
Did you
really
measure the
bad.
squares?
No.
I think you did measure where the lines go though, if I remember right.
You didn't bring yours, did you?
No.
Oh, I should have had you because
Mine's
ours are very
prettier than
different.
his.
Yeah.
So I cared about pretty a little bit more than him, but he cared about exactness a little bit more. Because I was like, well, that looks like the middle.
Right.
That looks like the middle.
So there's another thing that we can talk about. How many items should be on a vision board?
It's up to you.
Right. True. What do you think? Let's talk about some ideas. What would be ideal about having one or two?
About what?
If you only have one or two items in your vision board.
Focus more.
A lot of focus. Great. What about having 20? What? I like that look, Paige. Like, ooh. Why did it make you feel that way?
Yeah. I don't want to look at it every day. Be like, it's a little much.
What makes when you say
It seems
20?
like it kind of probably defeats the purpose because there's too many to always
Okay.
think about the focus,
Perfect.
right?
So you want the right number amount of focus. My suggestion would be start with 9. And why that works really well, use as number of items, it's actually a tic-tac-toe. You can have 9 slots there. Okay? Now, there are different ways and different connections with what slot is for what topic. But does it really matter? JBGE. Just barely good enough, just start. It doesn't really matter where you put the items. But just so you guys are aware, I do have a little cheat sheet that someone passed along to me. If you wanted to do it, this is the way to do it. You go like this, and you can go up in this corner and be something about wealth. Okay?
The person that passed this on figured this out too.
This is what they found worked best. So if you want to put something that's to do with wealth in the top left corner. Underneath that would be family related. Okay? You can take a picture of our
Oh,
board.
do you want a paper? Do you want a
Underneath
small
that would be
piece of
education.
paper? I'm gonna have a little help.
Top middle is reputation. In the middle of the board is health. On the bottom is achievement. And you're starting to see there's a lot of things you can put on there. It could be in more than one category, right? Top right corner is love or relationships. Right would be spirituality or connection. And the bottom right is my favorite category, travel.
There's sarcasm there, which we also learned is not good.
Yeah, travel I really struggle with. So, any thoughts about this or questions?
My travel square's gonna be too big.
Yeah, you can make it bigger. But you realize if you have something where you want to go, could it go anywhere else besides travel?
Yeah.
Where else could it go?
You actually have a tic-tac.
I know, I was just looking at that going, wait.
Wow.
So prepared. I'm like, is she gonna pick funny
Wow, I love
Did she
that.
get a vision board pad?
Would you guys like some TikTok?
Oh, that's awesome.
So now, Natalie, if you have somewhere you want to travel, where else could it go if you have more than one thing?
Well, if you want to travel with family, it could go in the family. If you wanted to travel, like to see like temples or something, that'd be in spirituality,
Yep.
or
If you're going to get away with your spouse,
that's love.
yeah. If you want to go on a really expensive vacation, you can put it in wealth. You can put it in achievement if it's really something in your bucket list of life. I want to go on this vacation.
If you wanna go to Italy and see all the ruins, that could be education.
Good. So you kind of see how it goes different ways, so you can use that however you wish. But that is the general understanding of what works well. So I actually, for a while, this really bothered my wife, because right after I got married, I needed a new receptionist. And I could not find the right receptionist, so I actually had one spot open. Can anybody guess whether that was? It was relationships. She's like, "You have a receptionist in your love column?" I'm like, yep.
I'm like,
deal
that's
with
what
it.
you're working on, that's what your goal is in that category.
Yeah.
Well, he already achieved the
I'm
goal.
pretty sure we were dating, not married yet.
Rory?
Yeah, I don't think I would have said that if we were married, but dating, I would have been like, seriously? Like,
That's
we could
really
get
funny.
married, that could be a goal, that's in my square.
I'm gonna find out now that you said, yeah, you're totally right. We weren't married yet.
I was like, no, we weren't married yet. I know how these things.
And the
I know how my
picture has a
brain
really
works.
pretty girl who's blonde that I put on the board.
And
She's
I
like,
was
I
like,
hate you. I remember that now. He did not like it.
I will pick the picture. Katie, with a red
It
on.
could just
Okay.
say the word receptionist too, I mean.
So now we have an idea how big the board is. I'd honestly say anything works, but you don't want to get it too big. There's one story of a guy having like an entire wall as vision board. Not effective. You don't want it that big. Also, when you put this up, one thing you want to be careful of is you don't want things to overlap. You want them to be distinctly different. So if you have a big item, you can go around and put different things there, but you don't want things overlapping because the brain does kind of blend together, those things.
That's why his has the lines, but you
Yeah.
don't have to do that.
You don't need to have lines, but there's sometimes it really does help. So now we have the squares, we have the tape. Now the next question, where to hang it?
What's that middle?
Health,
That one, reputation.
reputation.
I know,
Well,
reputation,
no, that's
but I
the
don't
one
know
I always-
what you put there.
So what you want to be known for.
What's what?
What you as a person would like to be known for. It can be known for in your family, at work, in your neighborhood, in your community. So something like, I want to be known as someone who teaches on vision boards. It's a good place to put it, right? A picture of someone teaching on vision boards.
You want to be known as a donkey?
Smart ass.
Oh. But how did I not? I've already achieved it. I don't know how I didn't get
Pull it
it.
off the board, put it in the book.
That's
I've
funny.
never heard of pulling it off the board once you achieve it. I've never heard that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that here at the end, why you do that. Okay, good. So again, where would we put a vision board?
Someplace where you're gonna see it
Yes.
every day.
Every day? Every day. Would you want to put it in a place where you kind of hide it from people so they don't see it, so they don't judge you?
No.
No. You hide it, guess what your brain's going to do?
Hide it.
Oh, you don't want this to be seen. So let's not do it where it can be seen. Make sense?
Then why are you hiding yours?
Because I don't want you to see it yet. Suspense.
Smart ass.
We're talking about this. No, I need more sugar.
I'm the bar and you're a smart ass.
I was like, there's more cookies.
Put a check mark next to that one. Okay, so my suggestion is you put it next to your bed. A bathroom mirror would work as well. Because not only are you going to look at this every day, you're going to spend time twice a day looking at your vision board. And the suggestion is right when you get up and right before you go to bed. Why do you think those times would be effective?
Your day is guided around it if you're looking at it in the morning, and then
Yes.
at night your subconscious is thinking about it all night.
Perfect. Our minds work throughout our subconscious minds work throughout the night. So if the last piece of information we feed our mind is, this is what I want you to work on. When you wake up in the morning, you might find that you have these ideas. Oh, I need to do this if I want to achieve that. There's something I can do. In addition, my suggestion is to have something to write down. Next to it.
Journal.
A dream journal. Great. That's perfect. You could also have a pad of paper next to that if you want to do that. And when you wake up, if any ideas, just write them down. I used to do this, but I couldn't read my writing. I wake up with one eye, and I write it, and I look up next to it, and I have no idea what I wrote.
He needs a recording like thingy.
Yeah, and you can do that as well. But the idea is your brain will tell you when you ask as long as you're listening. As long as you're listening, those things will come to you. Okay, so you're going to get it 2 times a day. When you look at the board, what are you going to do? You're going to be like, okay, vision board, you good? Okay, thanks, good, move on.
No, you're gonna look at each individual thing and think about how you can get to whatever it is that you.
Okay, Yeah, awesome. And we're going to take that like 3 steps further. You probably already meant what I'm going to take it to. But you're going to spend time looking at these items, and not only are you going to look at them and memorize them, but you're going to actually visualize what it'd be like to have that item. You're going to in your
Or
mind, you're going to
experience.
create a vision of what it's like to have that item. Next step past that, you're going to actually visualize what it'd be like to touch that item. You're going to visualize what that item sounds like. You're going to visualize the applause that comes when you achieve that item, whether it's from yourself or your family. And so all those items, you just think more and more. Yeah, I skipped a thought. You saw me, huh? It was a smart-ass comment. No, back it up. Back it up. So you're going to visualize all these things happening. So let's pick an item to talk about how we would use it. Anybody have a vision board item they want to talk about? I'll look at mine to see if there's anything. Actually, you know what? There's a perfect one right here. New laptop. How awesome is that picture? Right? There's a good vision for you, right? So this is our item. Hold on. We used to have magnets. Hold on.
They're not there anymore.
They're not? They're right here.
No, I mean, they're not on that.
I got one. We're good.
Here, there's the little eraser.
So where should we put our item in this chart? New laptop.
What are you using it for?
Mostly work.
So probably in wealth.
Anybody have any other ideas?
And if it's for work, it could be reputation as well.
Or achievement, or what's that? Yeah,
Could it be in education?
Yeah, if
Good.
you were going to use it for education.
This is the bigger square. We're going to leave it there. Okay, so if I'm looking at this vision board and I see this laptop, what types of things can I think about when I'm looking at the vision board?
How heavy it is.
How heavy?
The keys is going to feel like.
What they sound like when I...
What Google's going to look like on your new screen.
How it feels to shut it, how it feels to open it, how it feels to turn it on. All these things and actually how I feel when I turn my laptop on for the first time. All that comes into what is a vision board going to do for you. Like this is, and you tell your brain, I'm creating this, and I go find it. Figure out what it is I need to do to be able to achieve that. Okay? So that's one thing to talk about. Now as you notice on here, there's a date. I wrote the words and there's a date. Putting the date on when you put it on your board is a good way to judge how well you're doing with your vision board, because you're also going to put on the date as you pull it off. And you can say, this is how long it took me to get this item. Okay? That make sense?
Yeah.
Now we're going to do this every
I
day.
think work backwards though.
No.
That's a long time ago.
Right.
I was in the working.
Right? Don't look at my vision board success book quite yet, right? I'll give you all a chance to kind of flip through it. In fact, McKenna's brought hers as well. Right?
I just didn't bring my board.
Okay, so not only are we going to do 2 times a day, how long do you think it's going to take us to look at the vision board and be able to fully look at that and actually take it in and visualize what it's going to be like for each of these 9 items? How long should we spend? I'll just tell you.
Each time you look at it, you mean?
Yes, each time, every morning, every night.
20 minutes?
Yeah, I was thinking that.
You could, but that's a long time.
Oh.
You could, and here's the thing, we're going to go minimum of 3 minutes.
Oh, that's 3 for.
So basically, if I'm doing my math right, that's 20 seconds per item. I think I did the math right, didn't I?
I'm just thinking that's fast.
It is. Now, if you have more time,
Yes, that's right.
if you have more time, take it. But I want a minimum. It's going to be a minimum of 3 minutes looking at that board, because 20 seconds of visualizing what that's like will really impact you. And again, come up with new things, the smell of a new laptop.
What I found is that it's easier, I do the first, if it's a new item, it takes me longer, because it takes me longer to create the visual. But then after I've created it a couple of times, it's easy to just get to the 20 seconds because I can get there faster. But the first time it takes me a little bit more to like go through all the senses and feelings and stuff like that. And then I'm familiar with it, so the next time my brain gets there faster.
Yeah. Okay, so now we have the items, we have the how many times a day, we know where we're going to put it. My suggestion is right next to your bed, but again, a mirror might be great, a bathroom mirror might work just fine, but don't hide it. Okay. So let's see, any other questions about how to set up your vision board? I do have one more question for you if you don't have questions. Should all your items be images?
They don't have to be.
They don't. What else could you put up there? Yes. Remember, we're trying to stimulate the brain, right? Right side of the brain wants images. Left side of the brain wants words.
That's
So
why you
that
have
actually-
both.
You have both. Right, and to write it up here, what exactly it is you're looking for, being as specific as possible, does help. Now again, going back to just barely good enough, do you need to find the exact car you want to put up there that has all the same features that you're looking for? Doesn't matter. You put it up there and you can envision that. So the picture needs to be just barely good enough. And I've got some fun stories to share with you. You guys recognize that car? It's out there. This I actually had on a vision board that I didn't know was a vision board in 2011. No, it was 2012 because that's what year this car. No, 2011 because that's when 2012's come out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on there. And I pulled it off doing some other stuff, and then one day I came across it. And I'm like, that's the car I want. Put it on my board, and it was like a few weeks after that I got the car.
So Lisa is your receptionist.
Lisa is a
Barbie.
marketing person.
Karina
Yeah.
is Karina.
She's not blonde.
Karina is not blonde. Well, she has blonde in her hair, but she's not blonde.
There.
She's
Put up the
she's
wrong picture.
that.
Doesn't matter.
I had a little influence in that energy. Just kidding.
She's wonderful though.
I know. She's great.
You know, I'm really, really lucky to have the employees I do. In fact, I think the best characteristic I have as a business owner is drawing the best people to work with me and for me.
I'll add too that the receptionist before her was blonde, and that was the one that came
It's true.
from the.
That's actually true.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's actually very true. And looked
And
a
she
lot like
was-
the picture.
Very beautiful.
Married. I did that on
Did
purpose.
not?
I learned hire receptionists that are married. It makes your life lots better. Okay,
Your business life or your personal life?
let answer that.
Life.
Okay. So yeah, you can put words up there, sentences, and things you want to become, and things you want to be. That all works as well. Be specific. When you're with the words, be careful not to put negative words up there. Like, let me give you an example. It'd be good to post up here, pay off debt. You think that's a good thing to have up there?
Because his brain sees debt.
Exactly. And when your brain sees debt and you start paying it off, what does it do? It creates more debt so you can pay it. The brain is weird that
We
way.
shouldn't even think that at all.
What's a better phrase to put up there?
No, I
And we're gonna get to thoughts. Thank you.
I
Perfect.
do a lot.
So
The way you word it, you word things. Yeah.
if I want to pay off debt, what's another way to put it up there?
Financially free,
Yeah,
Just tell me.
financial freedom.
or a bank account that
Independently wealthy.
And there you go. That's a great
says
one.
credit card spot.
And you know what I like about that one? The best part about that is when you started to say it, you smiled. That's the best. When you look at these items, these should be like, yes, a new laptop would be great because then I could do more work. Paige, that sounds like you, right? I can see it. This should be like, oh my gosh, this is an amazing item.
This is an
I just thought of something really cool to put on my board. What if we got a brand new laptop? Would that be so awesome? Be like, yes, that's what I want. And so when you look at that, it should get you excited. It's like, yes. But it also should scare you a little bit. If you're putting items up here like, I want a Snickers bar. Sweet! What's your brain gonna tell you? Well, go get it. Drive down the street and pick one up, and you're good. So these need to be things that create a little bit of anxiety in your brain, like, how am I gonna do it? Like, just create that little, like get your brain going. And because what you're doing every day is you're going, how do we get this? How do I get this? Brain, figure this out. This is what it's gonna be, bring it to me. And what you'll find is the way to get that item, it starts to show up in your life. The right people will get put in place, and that'll happen. So now let's go to negative thoughts. When you guys see an item, do we have any item up there that would scare you? Think of something that would scare. Do I have something that scares me?
How about the one that's been forever?
You guys are gonna laugh at me, but I'm gonna put it up there.
Here's one that's been.
I had this up there for 3.5 years. We're taking down the new
And when you
laptop.
see it, it's not like that scary, but it's taking a long time.
Okay, what does it say?
10 new pregnancy patients in 1 week.
No big deal, right? We average 6 to 10 new patients a week. This has been on my board for how long? 3-4 years now? In fact, I think I even changed it to make it easier, and I still haven't gotten it.
He gets close, he'll get like 8.
I've gotten 8, twice, I've got 9 once. This week I'm sitting at 7 in 2 days.
Okay.
So I'm getting really excited. I can't remember where this goes. So I'm like, oh, there it is. So I look at this, and what I find is, I look at that and I go, I can do that, it's easy. 10 new patients, we just draw that. But I also get this negative thought like, well, what happens if these patients leave? What happens if patients don't like the way I treat them? What do you think my brain's now doing when I actually add in negative thoughts as I'm looking at this? Your brain will create what you put in. If your thoughts are negative, your results will be negative. I believe that's why I've never gotten this. Is because I'm like, well, once I reach that, what do I need to do? See, this has actually been in reputation the entire time. What I want to be known for is the pregnancy doc. The pregnancy chiropractor you can help throughout all pregnancy. And known in the entire valley as the guy you can help. I am the only guy, but there's also a lot of female docs that are the pregnancy docs. But I've also come across when I run into people that I have some deep-seated insecurities about certain types of care during pregnancy. For one, I don't like to go to the office, or I don't like to go to their houses and treat them when they need it in labor. So I'm like, well, I know docs will do that. So these other issues, I run across OBGYNs who are like, chiropractic isn't safe. And my first thought isn't, well, let me share what's right with it. It's like, okay, you're wrong, and you need to stop telling people that. And it's like, oh, that's negative. So I've worked through dozens of different techniques, dozens of different times with 1 or 2 techniques to try to get rid of those thoughts. So what I'm going to suggest to you is, when you find you're looking at these items and you hear negative thoughts, write them down and destroy them. Have I shared how to do write and burn with any of you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Trish, I've never shared that with you? Okay, this is a great way to do it. So you're going to find a piece of paper and you write down these negative thoughts. And what you're going to find is these keep coming up. And until you get rid of these, you may not be able to achieve that item. You take a piece of paper and you write those thoughts down. And then you're going to take those negative thoughts and you're going to destroy them. And there's multiple ways to do it. My favorite is you crumble the piece of paper up and you light it on fire and drop it on top of your grill. I have a little bucket that I put it in, tin can. You just light it on fire and watch it burn. It's teaching your brain it's gone. Do you have to burn it? No. You can tear it up, throw it in the garbage can. But it needs to be some sort of like teaching your brain this is done. We're done with this. We're getting rid of it. So the more negative thoughts you have come up, like, can I really get this? Am I really good enough? I mean, really, that seems simple. Why can't I do this? This is so simple.
Well, I was going to say, she was saying it could go backwards if you put a date on it and you start to see how long it's been, and your brain sees, oh my goodness, what is wrong with me? Why have I not gotten this in 4 years?
And that's a good question, or a good comment to make. So yeah, that's one thing to look at, but another thing is when you look at things that might have a date. You know, you put something like, I want to create this in a week. What happens when you don't create that item in a week? You get the same thing we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Which you don't want. So how do we avoid that? You write the date you put it up, so you know when you put it up, and you tell your brain, I want it now. When you're looking at this item, you're saying, now. I want it now. I'm getting it now. This is what I'm doing. It's coming to me now. It's on its way.
You did a good idea of writing the date you put it up on the back
I
of
was
it,
just thinking that.
and then it's not like blaring
not
over
right
there
there.
the whole
Thank God.
time.
For me, I would have to put it on the back.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
So you don't read it every single time you're looking
No,
at it.
you shouldn't be reading the date anyway. The date is just a documentation for how you're doing it. I'll say one more thing though about the items you put up here. I would suggest having varying levels of either cost or effort. So you don't have everything up there costing $100,000. Because it's really funny, you can watch this, and I did when I first started doing vision board, it was like, this was 50, that was 75, this was 100, that was 200, and it was funny because everything under like the 200, I got. I was like, and I kept putting new things up, but they were all around that amount, and I'm like, kind of see my limit. And so you'll notice that, so no, brain, this is what we're going to do. We're going here, and this is what you want. Does that make sense? Any other questions on how to use that?
Well, that's what I
She
thought
thought,
it was.
they both thought it was me at first.
No.
That that's what scared you, or what? How did you say when you put it up there?
Yeah, you guys are like, oh, he's weird. So let me share some things that I got with you guys that are pretty cool. So the first thing in my book is actually a grill. And actually this was fun because it was right when I started doing vision board, and I actually got $10 from my daughter on Father's Day to put towards the grill. And the grill was $100, and I took that $10 and I pulled all the money out I needed, and I went and bought the grill. And so even today, I look at that grill, I think of my daughter, and for Father's Day.